Good one.
Welcome to another episode of the Angels Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences. They're here to share with all of us, but I think more importantly, they're here to share their high vibe, their high frequency. We're going to call it their hearts, love with all of us. And a lot of them are healers, intuitives, best-selling authors, doctors, nurses. We've had a lot of types. The youngest Delta Force operator ever admitted to Delta Force. He got to, from Bali to Texas, feel energy coming through the screen. I got heat doing that. We had the White House physician to the U.S. president through three presidents, I think, for about 7 years. Rear Admiral, retired U.S. Navy, but active doctor in Arizona today, and a lot of other amazing folks. Today, coming to us from the Carolinas, amazing woman. She's been a medical intuitive medical healer for a long time now. She uses her hands to read people. She's been psychic since she was a child. Um, you can find her on Instagram right now, but look for a website coming out. She does it her way at the moment. I'd like to welcome Nancy Shershen to the show. Great to see you again, Nancy. How are you?
Good, Michael. It's such an honor to be here. I feel very grateful. It's nice to see you again.
And it's great to see you. And look, you're super tight with angels, Mary, Jesus, and some other figures too. You've been having experiences since childhood. You've had, we'll call it visions, but we're going to call it more than that, like active, lucid experiences. So very intense. And we're going to get you talking on a bunch of fronts. But what's the first thing that jumps to mind for a quick story for the audience to go, whoa, what can you share with us first?
I'll share one. I was about 5 years old, and my mother was upstairs putting laundry away, doing the mom thing. And I was just sitting there watching cartoons with my sister and brother, and the phone was ringing. And it was ringing. And it was ringing. So finally, a 5 year old frustration goes, Mommy, the phone is ringing. So she goes, What? And I said, The phone is ringing. She comes down the steps. I said, It's your friend Betsy. You have to answer it. And she goes, Wait, did you answer the phone? Nancy. And I said, No, Mommy, I did not answer your phone. Get the phone. And then the phone rang and she looked down at me, ran to the phone, and it was her friend Betsy. She had not heard from Betsy in 10 years. I never met her. So she has her conversation. She comes back. She goes, Honey, how did you know that was Betsy? Where did that name come from? And I go, My head. So she was like, Whoa. So that was like one of the beginnings of my parents having a weird child. you know, different
I
child.
love that. Could you share another time? But I'm going to ask a specific type of interaction. Have you had angels show up as full-on human beings, even just a sparkly-eyed stranger holding the door open for you for 5 seconds, but maybe you turn and they're
um,
gone?
Yeah, well, there was one time, this is when I was much older. I was already married and had my children. I had two little girls. I was hospitalized. I couldn't breathe. There was something going on with my asthma with my lungs, and they couldn't figure it out. So I was really sick. The doctor in the hospital, they didn't know. They had specials coming in and out. Nobody knew why this was happening. They were talking to my husband about intubating me. They had me on heavy drugs so that I would breathe slow, but not intubated yet. And I just remember inside, I couldn't speak. I just remember inside knowing I'm not going anywhere, but just knowing. And then one night, it was like, I was there like a week when this happened. I was laying down and something came over me of peace and that I was going to be okay and that I was correct. I was going to be okay. And this was like a resting, for some reason I needed to rest. And I opened my eyes and I look at the foot of my bed, and there's this beautiful, I thought she was a nurse. There's this beautiful nurse, this white kind of robe like thing. And I was a little confused, but I could barely talk. And I could just feel her presence. Like it was just beautiful. And I felt like I could jump up and do, dance, although I was very sick. She went to behind the curtain and left when I saw her. That's when she stood up and because she was kneeling, touching my legs. She stood up after she looked at me and I looked, she saw I was looking at her and she left, right? So I'm going, nurse, nurse. I could barely talk, nurse, nurse. So this African American little lady comes in, little chunky, and she says, Honey, I'll be right there. I'm just getting your medicine. She has this accent, right? So I said, could you get my nurse? She goes, I am your nurse. And I said, I'm sorry if I'm not doing that accent good. I'm not good with accents. So she looks at me and she says, I'll be right back. I am your nurse. I said, no, no, the other nurse with all the white, with the blonde hair. And I might have said yellow hair, but so she's looking around and I'm watching her and she's looking around and she looks scared, right? So she goes, I'll be right back. So she runs out there and I could hear her. And she says the other nurse's name. I don't remember now. Um, is anybody else here on this floor with us with her little accent? And I hear the nurse go, no, it's just me and you. Do you need help? And she said, no, but I might in a minute. So she comes back in the room and she goes, honey, I've seen a lot of things in my life being a nurse. She goes, I think you just met your beautiful angel. She goes, I think that's a sign. Take it as you're going to be okay. And 2 weeks later, I was fine. Never found out what caused all of it. It was a mystery. Um, I mean, there's so much,
Let's put up three
but
angels for you and get the backstory on who that angel might have been. And with your permission, if you don't mind asking all your angels to come in, get you out of your head into your heart. Anyone at home can do this. Just get a hug from your angel.
yeah,
I'll put up Joy, Archangel Michael in the middle, the white ball of light, and Charlotte. They'll give you the backstory, but then when or if you close your eyes, if you don't mind leaving your eyes open for 5 seconds when I put it up, then close your eyes. Let them show you her if she wants to come in again, full on, but modern today. Maybe not so much nurse looking. And make sure you get her name. If you want her wearing a t-shirt with her name clearly on it, sometimes people stumble on names. And have Michael do a quick description of the angel, like, hey, she's fabulous. We love her. And Joy can do that. Charlotte can do that. And if you don't mind feeling her hands on your shoulder, breathe through your mouth extra to let go just an extra little. This is like me coaching a NASCAR driver, but you're in the Carolinas. It's okay. We like NASCAR. And then have a message come through to that angel from that angel to you and how she's probably been around and have her share something else and even suggest another story after you've shared what you wish to share with us. People at home, I've got three real photographs of angels. I used to hand the camera to folks. I took these, but you can just see directly out your window, close your eyes, dream time, doesn't matter which way. Go ahead and put your hands out, treat these like fireplaces. Feel what you can feel. Try too hard to get sparkles on your toes. Ask a question, get an answer. It'll sound like your voice for 2 seconds. Second you let go, you get actual their voice. Just letting go is letting go, allowing is allowing. Good luck with any of it. Human thinking, that's where you can just, I probably forgot my only rule. Set your intent. Hey, angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Make this nice. Amen, rock and roll, Om Saram, whatever way you roll.
amen.
Okay, what'd you get, Nancy?
So I'm getting two names, Uriel, and Ariel. So a Uriel and an Ariel, and that's exactly how it was said to me. Um, but and they've been with me since because I yeah, they've been with me since I was a little girl. So I'm looking at like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old. And there was always three of them. And hmm, and Raphael's been with me a lot, as well as Jesus. Which makes sense to me because when I was 7, I was up in my room playing with my dolls, and I was feeling very sad. I didn't feel loved. And don't get the wrong impression, my mom, I mean, she was a wonderful mother. When we were little, she made sure we had everything and we had fun and we had a nice childhood. But for some reason, I was up in my room and playing with my dolls, and I felt this sadness and this horrible sadness. And I was playing and I was telling my dolls how much I loved them. I wanted them to feel the love that I was missing, that I felt like I was missing. And then all of a sudden, this man appears in my room. And I look up and I could feel the love radiating from him. Now, I didn't know who he was because we didn't go to church. My parents didn't take us to church. So I didn't know who he was. He told me that he was Jesus
Mm.
and that he was my brother. And I was like, wow. And then, being a 7-year-old kid, I was like, how did you get in here? Because I knew he didn't walk past me because I was by the door. So he came in from where the window was, is what I was asking him. And he just radiated this love, and I could feel it. And I stood up and I was looking at him, and he was glowing. He was beautiful glow to him, beautiful blue eyes, just a beautiful, beautiful being. And he told me that I was loved by so many and that I was a chosen child of God. And not that I'm the only chosen one, but I was a chosen child of God, and that I would do many things throughout my life. Not He didn't want me to be sad. Like all I kept feeling was the love, and I get the chills when I talk about it all the time. But the love is like something that I try to explain to people my whole life. If you can just let Jesus touch you, because he will surround you and hug you and hold you and love you like a love you've never felt here on this earth. And you're just not going to feel it here. Like as much as I could say, Michael, I love you, you're not going to feel that love that Jesus has, that the angels have, that Mary has, that God has for all of his children. We are all so special to them. And I always wish that everybody could, I get emotional when I talk about this, that everybody could just feel that love, that
Aw.
intense, that the beauty, because life would be so much easier for all of us. Um,
I'll tell a quick
it's just,
story and
yes.
give you a little break, but I'll put up his photo in just a second at the end of the story. And I was living in Austin, Texas for 10 years. I'm an hour south in San Antonio now, East Coast all my life. And I'm at a concert place, really good concert place, still great. Stubbs Barbecue, great for lunch, great for dinner, gospel brunch on Sundays. But they have great concerts like M83 from France or Two Door Cinema Club, alternative music, sloped amphitheater, maybe 5 bars can fit, maybe 2,000 people, sloped space, just really good vibes and very easy to go to. So I'm there seeing one of those two bands, the French one or the Irish or UK band, and I'm in a good spot. And two women walk by and they point to me and they're like, "I think it's him." And they chat for a little bit, but then they go. They're both intuitive, and then they come back again a little while later, and they're like, "We're supposed to show you something." And it was grounding into the earth exercise. And I felt like my crown chakra opened, and they showed me all the love in the world. And I
Mhm.
literally, the only description I have is I had nasal surgery once, like sinus surgery. I had to have it. And when you get the packing in the old days, they keep doing better and better technology. But when they pulled it out, it felt like UPS trucks for nostrils or a
Oh,
huge Hawaiian wave, 50 foot tall, for all of a sudden it's the biggest breath you've ever taken. So it was like that. I felt all the love in the world and I was whooshing it out to the crowd. So it was somehow coming in and I was being shown that plus the grounding thing. And I've never forgotten that. And it's such a bright experience. So I'm going to put up
it is.
Jesus's photo. Here's something that's a message for us all. If you don't mind jumping a little bit to modern day today, what does everyone across the globe need to know? And here's Jesus, the classic, that painting from that wonderful woman from heaven is for
Yeah,
real. What does he have for all of us?
so much love. He wants us to know so much that he's tried to tell us when he was here, his teachings. They're all real. You are him, he is you. You are God, God is God. Jesus has so many beautiful messages for us. We are so much more than we think we are. And Jesus, that's all he wants us to know, to just go to your heart, find your heart, release all the baggage, release all that doesn't even serve you. Let it go because it's not even real. That your heart, what is in your heart, is real. And that's all he ever wanted us to do, is love each other as he loves us, as God loves us. Those are always, when they came in my visions, the Blessed Mother and Jesus, it was always about loving each other and being patient and kind and understanding and no judgment. They don't want you to judge, not even yourself, especially yourself.
Well, I'm going to put up Archangel Michael and Jesus for one more round of listening by you,
Powerful.
and then we'll get back to your life story stuff. What else do they have to say? Is this about Tuesdays only, or when you get a steak, you have to have fries, or is it no fries, or any particular organization? What do Michael and Jesus say about all the structure? There's a lot of complex structure out there.
Yeah, the complex structure is to control us, and that's not what we're here to be. We are divine beings. They don't want us getting into those structures. They want us to find ourselves, to remember who we truly are. That's what they're trying. They're all working very hard. I feel their energy daily. I feel the negative energy when it comes around. I understand everything that's happening right now that we're going through, that a lot of people probably do feel fear. Please don't feel that fear.
Mhm.
You need to let it go and breathe. It's just breathe and just be in this moment, be in today, and don't think about tomorrow. I know it's hard with wars and stuff, but this, I saw that everything that we're in, I saw in visions back in the 90s from the Blessed Mother. Um, and yes, was it horrible to see? And no, but we do have choices. She's always shown me, um, some people call them different dimensions that we could reach. I see them as paths. So there was always like this path, and this path. And she would tell me that, well, we'll get, I guess we'll get into that, but there's chosen ones that were woken up early. And because we're all chosen children of God. God loves us all. We're all here on a mission. But some of us were put here already awakened.
Mm.
So connected and stayed connected since birth. Then others, and we're the ones that are supposed to be out here. And there were many before, like myself, yourself, and others that we both know, is to keep awakening our souls, to awaken us and teach us how to come within and to go within and trust, 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 trust. Because I think the ego gets in the way and brings out, no, don't do that. That's, wuju. It brings out the fear of confusion. Once you get past that and you realize who you are, you're walking with Christ. You have Christ consciousness. Not a lot of people understand what that is, but it's not church. It's not religion. Jesus didn't come here to build temples
Mm.
and churches. And it was very hard knowing this at a very young age,
Mm.
growing up. And then you go to church. Well, my mother brought us to church after I saw Jesus when I was about, well, a couple years later. Because that's another thing. I had dinner at when I was 9, to go back, back to that. I don't want to get people confused, but to go back to when I was 9, I had dinner at a friend's house and they had this big, beautiful picture of Jesus. I was like, how did you get that picture? You're 9. I know he was real, and I knew he was real. I mean, he was in my room. I didn't know he was a spirit. I thought he was a regular being, person, human. And I'm like, what? Then they had like 10 kids, right? So I'm at this big dinner table with the mom and dad, and I'm looking and I go, oh my gosh, where did you get that picture? That's Jesus. You know Jesus, but I'm excited. I'm a kid, like, oh man, is he gonna come to your dinner? Is he coming to dinner? Like, I was all excited. And the kids are looking at me and laughing. And the parents later after dinner, were talking to me and they're like, you're so excited. You know Jesus. I'm like, I'm excited because you know Jesus. And they're like, well, how do you know Jesus? I go, he came in my room, So I told them the story. And they wound up calling my mother. The mother wound up calling my mother and asking if she could take me to church, where I thought I was going to physically see Jesus again. Of
Mm.
course, I didn't get to physically see him, but I could feel him. And and that was the Methodist church. That's how my church began. But it was sporadic, because then we moved there, we didn't go to church. Then we moved down to South Jersey. I'm originally a Jersey girl. And so it was sporadic, but all these things were just continuously happening. And when I first started seeing auras, I was little and I would tell my mother, oh, look at that lady. She's so beautiful. But I was looking at her aura. And
Mm.
my mother didn't understand, like, what is she seeing, And she's like, shh, don't tell people that. Don't say that out loud. They're going to take you away from me or something. But that's how it was back there then in the, 60s and 70s, people thought you were weird if you could see the future. Or, I mean, I've had so many things I mean, I liked it. I mean, I look back and I'm like, you know what? I wasn't a freak. I was just a child of God that was awoken very young, and had a lot of mystical things happen, spiritual things happen. But I didn't know I was a healer till I was much older. But I always knew I had psychic abilities because um, I would see spirits. I was like again 9, 10 years old, and the lady next door was very, very old, and she didn't have any more. Her kids were grown, her great grandkids were grown. She was well into her 90s. She would want to make us cookies. She used to call them biscuits, but we'd go over there to have biscuits and tea with her. And she said she had three little ones in the tub, and her one little one was upstairs playing with her doll. You want to say hello? So we went near. My sister's like, I don't see anything, but I could see the three little babies in the tub. They were like 5, 4, and maybe 2. And I was only like 11 or 12. And I was like, yeah, they are in the tub. My sister's like, I don't see them. She goes, I'm going to go upstairs and play with the little girl. Well, my sister went upstairs. The little girl frightened her. So she came down to get me.
Mm.
So she did see that child, but it was a spirit. So I went up the steps and I knew why, because the eyes were like dark, not scary. She still had like eyes like we have, but they were dark, dark circles around her. So she died like from a type of fever type thing. That's all I can remember is it was some type of fever sickness. We went home, we told my mother, and my mother was like, What? What do you mean? She don't have no kids in that house. She's old. All her kids and grandkids and great grandkids, they're all grown. They don't even live here. I said, Mom, I'm telling you what I saw in the tub. And we saw the girl upstairs. So, I mean, things like that would always happen. Or I would get a feeling of like when I was married, my husband was leaving to go to work. I,
Ooh.
I said, Peter, don't go to work, whatever the way that you drive. Don't go that way. It's not good for you. So he always listened though. So he did. He went another path and then he called me from work and said, Good thing I didn't go that way. There was a terrible accident. I would have been part of that accident. It was like a 30 car bad. People died. Um,
Nancy,
yeah.
I'm going to light some sage because every minute or so the video is freezing up, but we're not losing anything. The audio part's coming in a few seconds later, and the audience is getting everything you're saying. But I'm going to blow some
It's
sage and
it's
do some.
from the energy.
Yeah, and I'm going to blow some
It's
sage,
the
and we're going to get
energy.
Michael, Mary, Jesus in here, and other archangels to smooth it out. But I'm going to light some sage, and you're in the Carolinas. I'm in Texas. And if folks have never seen this before, you can just catch a little sage your direction. It could be cotton candy, flowers, ocean. It could be cedar, sweetgrass. It could be anything. And we don't even need to light anything. You can just ask angels for a great incense from India. It doesn't allow, ask, and receive. But here we go. We did this before the show. We did it last time we saw each other. It's
Oh,
no big
okay.
shakes. But it could be 2030 and you're in Christchurch, Berlin, or Tokyo. And then we definitely earned a comment, a like, a subscribe from you. Put something down that you've already enjoyed about Nancy. Here's the sage. You probably are already getting it. But if you don't mind asking for extra, is it glitter? Is it flowers? Is it ocean? Ocean wave sound, like a
Oh,
wave
it's
machine.
beautiful spring flowers.
Oh, good. Okay, and people can you can pause it and look at the smoke. You can play it back. I'm snubbing it out because I got a pretty good smoke going and I'm don't want to fill up the room. And I just sent little fragments all over. Um, I'll do
This
two more.
happens a lot, Michael, because of the energy that I could feel the angels with me, I could feel Jesus with me, I could feel Mary. It's like this, my room is filled with so much beautiful energy right now. And it'll play games with the phone, with the computer. It
But
just
not for the rest of this show. I'm going to put up a giant, whatever it's called, a selenite crystal. If you don't
selenite.
mind having selenite consciousness come in and feel a lot of light come in, have angels accentuate it a little, and you can even hear sound bowl music from selenite playing physically around you, and get a message from the selenite, a reminder for all of humanity, something about keeping it easy, keeping it real easy.
Yeah,
What are you hearing?
keeping it real,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a
being
little
honest with
psychic too,
yourself.
so
Yeah, you yeah, you heard it right. Keep
we
keep it
didn't
real, be true to you.
we didn't plan that. But
Uh,
hey, I'm gonna tell a dad joke and put up my hands against the black background for seeing
yeah,
auras.
that was
And
good.
I'll go bigger in a second after that, and you maybe
And
get extra like Jesus's face in there or angels or something. I don't know. Hummingbird, people have gotten everything by now. But you get a dad joke. Where in a hospital, since we did a hospital story early, where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek, Nancy? Where? In the ICU.
the morgue.
Oh, in the ICU. Okay, I'm going to use this as the background and just see a little fill
That's
in the
so
blank.
cute. That's really cute.
What are you seeing for a color or colors first?
I'm seeing white,
Okay, and I'm
white
going to go
energy.
bigger and broader and let angels fill in the space in between.
Oh,
What are you getting now?
pink and purple.
Okay, I'll sit.
Pink and purple. You know what? When you just started to stop, it started to be gold. So you
Oh,
had pink, white, pink and purple mix like this, and then gold was coming in. And I'm seeing a lot of blue behind you, Michael. I feel
oh,
like
I've got blue on the shelves for a
no, no,
backlight back there. Oh, real
not
blue.
there, because that, yeah, like right, like this.
Okay, and I'm gonna go on an old surfing trip in Florida and see if I can shift the aura a little. Maybe we'll get a little orange or bubbles. Hold on. Getting anything extra?
I don't see any orange, but I'm starting to see a little purple and a little yellow.
Okay, perfect. Here's Archangel
Nice.
Michael. What's he suggest for a topic next?
Oh,
What'd he say?
okay.
Where are you taking us?
So I was a teenager. He's showing me the sun bouncing, and that's exactly what happened. When I was a teenager, I was sitting there. I was just going to eat a bowl of cereal. My mom was cleaning the kitchen. This is when we lived in Barnegat, New Jersey, down by the Jersey Shore. And we had sliders, sliding glass doors. And I was looking out there. You always love, love birds. So I'm looking for the birds. And all of a sudden I see the sun, but I see the sun bouncing. So I'm like, what is that? So I get up, I go, Mom, I think the sun is moving. She goes, the sun doesn't move. So I go to the sliding glass door and go, oh, yes, it is. It's bouncing. And I'm giggling because I'm like, this is amazing. And the sun is bouncing. So I finally get her to come over and she looks and she goes, oh, yeah. She goes, no, that can't be. She goes, the sun doesn't move. She goes, somebody's playing a game. She was thinking like somebody's playing with a mirror or something and making it. I go, Mom, the whole sun is bouncing. I mean, it was bouncing. And I was like, wow, this is really amazing. So, she's like, no, she still probably would say, I don't know, it was something, but I think it was a joke. How do you make a joke with the whole sun bouncing in the sky? Like it was just beautiful, but that's what he just showed me. Yeah.
Um, Tell us one more like dream time, a positive dream that you had somewhere along the way and you'll never forget it.
A dream? I don't know. My dreams are usually visions.
You can do a
Like
vision.
like I'm awake and have them. Like we are talking now, and all of a sudden something can just appear and I'm shown. Um, but dreams, I mean, I've had dreams where I had a dream not that long ago. I'll tell you that one because that's what I'm being shown. So not that long ago, it was right before we met. I was told in my dream, this is me sleeping, and in my dreams always feel like you're awake, like you're dreaming, but you're asleep dreaming. And it said, something big is coming. Get ready. Something, and it just kept repeating itself. And I was kind of like on a mountain, right, with the water. And I was like, what? And it said, something big is coming. Get ready. Something big is coming. Get ready. So I said, okay, I'm ready. I woke up. I mean, that was one dream. I mean, wasn't a bad dream. It was just I knew I had to get ready for something, right? So most of my dreams are kind of like they're like I'll have dreams from relatives that have passed on. Before my dad died, it was a Sunday night. So like I woke up Monday morning knowing what happened in the dream. My Aunt June, my father's oldest sister, came to me. And she was tiny in real life. She was maybe 4'9", maybe 4'8". She was tiny. And so in this dream, I knew I was dreaming and she was in it. So we're on top of this mountain and she's flying around like a cherub. She has wings like an angel, but she's this little cherub. So I said, Aunt June, what are you doing? And she goes, I have to tell you something. She's like, I have to tell you. I said, what do you have to tell me? And why do you look like a cherub? And she starts giggling just like her laugh on Earth when she was alive, her same laughter. And she's giggling. And I start laughing. I'm like, why are you looking like a cherub flying all over the place? And she goes, I'm here for Dickie. My father's name was Richard, but his family called him Dickie. And my father was in the hospital. So I said, oh, you're here for my dad? She goes, yeah, I'm here for your dad. I have to wait for Dickie. He's coming. I'm waiting for Dickie. And I said, okay, thanks for letting me know, and woke up. That was it. So I woke up Monday morning and I knew things happened to me like in threes. So I knew Wednesday my dad was gonna die. He had had lung surgery and he did. He died. So things like that happened to me. There was another time that freaked my mom out. My nana, I was very close to my nanny. She died when I was 9. And we weren't allowed to go. I guess back then, maybe they didn't do it that way. We weren't allowed to go to the funeral. So we didn't get to say goodbye to her. And she was sick, but they didn't know she was going to die. She was only 62 years old. So they didn't even let us go see her. And she wound up dying. So I remember being heartbroken. She was the only person on this in this world that I thought really loved me and saw me. Like she liked the dance, she liked everything I did. So I just loved her so much. Well, she came to me when she died with Jesus, and they felt very real. And she hugged me, she brushed my long hair back, and I thought it was my mom. And when I opened my eyes, it was my nanny. I was like, I didn't think she died. I'm like, I knew you didn't leave me. I knew you would never leave me. And then Jesus was standing there and he's hugging me and telling me that everything's going to be okay. She'll always be right with me all the time, that I'll feel her. I grew up knowing what that feeling was. She was right. And then I heard her go into my parents' room to say goodbye to her son, my father. And I heard him cry out. I heard the whole thing. And then she came back in my room to say goodbye. She kissed me goodbye. And her and Jesus faded. Like I had a big old-fashioned bureau and the mirror, and they kind of faded like through there. And Jesus was like this, kind of like this. And Nanny was like this. And I'm crying, please don't go. I wanted them both to stay with me or take me with them. But because they look so real that when you're a kid, you know, you don't realize that. But that's how close they are to us. Like they're close.
I have Mary coming in for you. If you don't mind, if you don't mind doing this or throw some finger paint everywhere or just anything you want, clap once, but just let's clear the deck. Here's Mary traditional style now. Lock this in. You already have a million ways you view Mary, but I'm going to still show a modern version of Mary. And I think we did this before privately, like a month ago, 3 weeks ago. It's a
Yeah.
great photo. This photo, historical photo, we won't say who, not a 1950s photo, but a photograph we know can't move, but not true. These eyes are going to come more
No, they
alive
can.
and a smile more. And if you don't mind allowing rainbow glitter everywhere, pure compassion light, if you want yellow or purple or blue today or a combo, let her decide, you decide. But feel everything light up in the room. Here's Mary, modern version. And if you don't mind hearing beautiful words from her, I know three Native American chiefs said about Mary, she's love, she's everything we need. If we all had her faith and trust, there'd be no more need for fear or worry. And I know she said like 10 years ago, love is a constant, open your eyes to find love. So I bought you as much time as I could. Are you seeing the photograph move?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's happened to me other times with her.
And if you could just, are you getting anything in the room besides a lot of energy and love? Are you getting anything visual, at least peripherally, like little snowflakes of love or glitter?
Yeah, I see the glitter.
Okay,
I
good.
see pink glitter.
Oh,
That's because I
yay.
said I wanted pink glitter, so I'm seeing the pink glitter.
If you don't mind, get a
I
message
wonder.
from her for everybody, a reminder, because there's a lot of complexity, a lot of positions are being taken, and I've never seen such. I mean, I'm 58, and I feel like I've seen all the different, what do you call it, sine curve, the ups and downs, tranche, tops and valleys of the mountain thing. And people are all over the map. I mean, there's so much, you think certain groups are that way, and then they're the complete opposite. There's so much complexity going on that I'm not sure. I think everyone's getting a wake-up call to say, hey, like a little less organization, a little more trust, faith, hope, love,
Hmm.
gentleness, compassion. What does she say for us all on planet Earth right now?
She wants us to know that the changes that are happening to the earth, not just to us physically, because they're changing physically, but to the earth, to not have fear, to allow this to happen because we need a new birth. It's like we need a new rebirth of the earth, and we're changing. Our bodies are changing too. And she doesn't want us to have fear with that. She wants us to envelop it, go with it, to wake up, go with the heart. It starts with the heart, letting go of things that no longer serve us, letting go of anything bad that's happened to you in your past. Letting it go with love and let it, I always say, send it to God's divine purple light and let it burn. And it burns into beautiful white light, beautiful energy. But her messages are always purity, always of don't worry about what that person's doing or that person. Worry about you. We have to concentrate on breathing and understanding who we truly are. And once we get that, the rest follows. It's like it just everything starts to fall in place and you have to trust in God, trust in Jesus, trust in yourself,
Hmm.
trust in the good and the beauty of this earth. Because even though we can see, the wars and stuff, they're meant to happen. They've already been set in place many, 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 many years ago. And even her vision, when she showed me this in the 1990s, I saw 9/11. Nothing I could do about it. I knew that our government knew about it because she
Hmm.
showed me. So when that came out, I was like, that's true. Truth finally coming out. But everything she's shown me, it has happened. There is nothing that they don't lie to you when they show you things.
Hmm.
They will never lie to us, but they're always here protecting us and guiding us. But everything she showed, 2012 was another big, big, big avenue there. But we had three paths, and not enough people were awoken. I guess that's the only way to explain it. Um, so that's why we're where we are today. And I was shown the three different paths, and I know that's the path that we took because of what's happening since then, since 2012.
I'll bring in three angels in a second. Archangel Gabriel, Claire, and a Harmony, who's Harmony, but she chose tranquility as her key word, even though she's Harmony. And if we could do very brief listening with them, but first with Charlotte, this go around is for real. This is like there is something happening for planet Earth. We'll call it a raising of the frequency or a chance
Yeah,
for everyone, whoever wants to pay attention to openness. What does Charlotte say specifically about what's going on for planet Earth right now? And it can be short and sweet.
rebirth.
Perfect. Archangel Gabriel's next. If we don't mind getting short and sweet, because I want to grab all of them, those four angels, plus Michael, plus Mary, plus Jesus, and anyone else, the whole kit and caboodle. Here's Gabriel. What's Gabriel have as a reminder for all of us? And if you don't mind noting, purple and a little bit of rainbow light there.
Stay away from fear.
That's a good one. Here's Claire. She's purple. She's clarity, but she's resilience too. She's My one of my dog who's on the bench who went out and came back in the middle of the show. If anyone saw me petting a dog off camera, that's her guardian angel. And what are you getting from Claire? And if you don't mind putting a hand out and feel her while at the same time that you're
Yeah, that's what
listening to
I
her.
thought I wanted to
Yep. Because you're gonna love that. Get her to bathe you in that purple light.
allow yourself to heal. Healing. I'm feeling, even though usually that's what Raphael, she's saying healing, healing, healing.
And harmony, last but not least, it's supposed to be rainbow light, but if you want to close your eyes, she'll show even more visibly or more poignantly. I don't have a word here. More whoop, more big. And then leave your eyes shut on this one. What's her reminder? Because we're going to go right into something else and you'll leave your eyes shut on this one. What are you getting from her?
Was she the one that told you tranquility?
Yeah.
She has, that's
That's
tranquility.
that's her shtick. If you don't mind
It must
cupping,
be for today.
if you don't mind closing your eyes, cup your hands like you're in the shower, but it can be off camera. And if you don't mind allowing everybody to come in and into your hands with light so that your hands are like, oh my God, I feel like I'm holding a ton of light. It's really getting not hot down there, but energetic. And you've got a lot of light cupped in your hands. Breathe through your mouth, extra shoulders up and down at home if you need extra help or extra turning up the volume, 1970s stereo receiver. And when you hear ready from like Jesus, Mary, Michael, Joy, Charlotte, Min, Gabriel, Michael, anybody, look down and see the light, enjoy it with your eyes open, and then when you're ready, bring it into your heart and get a big quantum hug, cellular hug, top to bottom hug. It doesn't matter what you call it. Did you get a chance to see it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what do you see if you're comfortable sharing it?
It was pink and white, but it's funny because today's been the pink and white energy day for me for some reason.
And let's do an open casting call for one of the angels or one of the loving figures. It could be St. Francis, it could be anybody. Who's coming in right now that's one of your favorites? And if you want to get a hand on the shoulder, a whoosh in the room, you almost like have to go check the thermostat. You're like, oh my God, is the AC on? Um, you're like, whoa, who's coming in and has another quick message for planet Earth?
I have Jesus.
I'm, I'm shocked. Okay. Who,
No,
what's
he's
he saying?
gonna love you, love each other as I love you. His Jesus wants everybody to love. And okay, I he wants me to tell you this. Um, I had visions. They were changing me from my church, and I didn't understand the visions. And I went to the minister. Just going to make it really quick. She said, God, for some reason, is calling you to Catholicism. Like, I don't know Catholicism. Okay. Kept having one of them was this big, huge number seven. Didn't understand. I kept asking, I'm not understanding this. Kept showing me this big, huge seven. Went to a different church. Blah, blah, blah. God's calling you to Catholicism. We don't know why, but that for some reason you're needed there. Okay, I tell my husband, I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to go to another minister. Found a different church. Went to, it was an Episcopal church, I think. Went to that was the third one. And I said, blah, blah, blah. This has happened and this is what's going on. I'm not really understanding it and usually understand everything they're showing me. He said, well, honey, God is calling you to Catholicism for some reason. I said, okay. So, wait, okay. So I go home, I pray, and I said, okay, God, you want me with Catholicism? I don't know Catholicism. So there was a miracle that happened. So I got on my hands and knees and I'm praying. Can you show me the church? Can you show me where I'm supposed to go? I have no clue. I looked in the phone book. We didn't have cell phones back then. You had to look in a phone book. Looked in the phone book, and now I'm really giving away my age, right? Looked in the phone book, hundreds of Catholic churches, right, in New Jersey. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go. So I pray, Jesus, please show me where God wants me to be. The very next day, I get a phone call from my youngest daughter's godfather, Nancy. My dad told me, his dad had been the mayor at that time. My dad told me to call you because he knew I was very spiritual. You need to get over to St. Mary's Church in Barnegat. The face of Jesus is on a stone in front of this new, um, where you go, chapel, this brand new chapel that they just built it. They just opened it. And the face of Jesus appeared on this big stone. I fell to my knees. I'm getting the chills again. I fell to my knees crying, "Thank you, Jesus." Oh my God, right? And I'm crying. He's like, "What are you thanking Jesus? Why are you crying?" And I explained to him. So my husband comes from work. We get the video camera. We go run over there. And sure enough, the face of Jesus is on that stone. So I smile at it and I say, "Okay, so this is the church. Now I know where I'm going, right?" So now I'm still nervous. So then I pray, who am I supposed to talk to in this church? Right? Because I'm like, I go to my, I hate my husband. I go, don't they have like hundreds of priests in these Catholic church? Like you see it on TV, right? There's hundreds of them. So I'm like, how many is at this church? I didn't know. So again, I pray, but this is how it always happened to me. And it can happen to you too. Like everybody has these gifts, has God wants to communicate with all of us. I prayed. As I'm praying, my husband's sitting there. I leave my body and I'm in this different realm, right? Not scary or nothing. And Jesus is here. So I see Jesus, I always loved seeing Jesus since I was 7. And then I see it over in the corner, this big, huge white light. But I can feel love coming from that too. And then I see this short man kneeling at an altar, like this small altar, and this light shining on him. So I'm looking at Jesus, and Jesus goes like this to me, like, just watch, patience, patience. So I look over, and then I hear this voice. This will be who you shall tell all that you have been shown. This shall be, this is who shall be your confessor. I didn't know what a confessor was. And I'm just listening to the voice, and I'm like, is that God? So then the man stands and turns and faces me. So I see the full face, the figure, his shape, I know who this man is, but I don't know him, right? But I know I'm gonna know him. And then now I'm back in my body. So I said to my husband, I just went somewhere. And he goes, I know, your face was glowing. Like it just fascinated him. Like he just stood there quietly because I'm like, did you try to shake me? He goes, no, something told me I wasn't supposed to touch you. He goes, I just sat here quietly. So I go, all right, yeah. So I go, okay, well, now we know the church. I'll call tomorrow. I didn't even want to call that day. I said, I'll call tomorrow and I'll make an appointment and we'll see if this is who I saw. Then we'll know for sure. Yes, the face of Jesus, the man in the vision. And it's sure enough, I said to my husband, we had got the appointment for like a couple days later or the following week. And I said, I'll squeeze your hand. So I had gave my husband a very good description of this man. So he felt like he knew what he would look like too. Well, when the man comes out of the room, I squeezed my husband's hand and he squeezed in my hand, and the hands were hurting because we were, and then he let go and I let go. And we just like, I look up at my husband, he looked down at me. And when we went in there, because I had a lot of visions, um, I just said, well, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to tell you, I'm meant to tell you because God Himself told me that you are my confessor and you're to be shown, told all that I've been shown. And boy, we were there a couple hours.
Hmm.
And he put us, boom, right into the classes had already been started like for a couple months. But he said, we have to get you in to get converted, to make your conversion.
Hmm.
Yeah, am I saying it right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And in a class we went, and that's when I found out that I was a healer, a natural born healer.
Hmm.
And yeah, and there was so much. I mean, if I started from when I was 4 or 5, and went all the way through present time, there ain't enough time in the day.
I have a Lucy, an angel who's named Lucy, but I mean, she's probably got other names. She's patience itself. And she wrote in on, I don't know if anybody remembers, like 10 to 15 years ago, there was a Luc Besson film, the guy who did Joan of Arc, Fifth Element, Angel-A, great film. He's a European film director, but he had a Scarlett Johansson movie called Lucy, and she wrote in on that movie. And then there's some famous European actor in a kind of like independent film. He was a fisherman named Syracuse, and the name on the boat that it was his fishing boat was Lucy. So I'm seeing all this, and Lucy
Oh,
rides in. Here's Lucy. She's Patience. If you don't mind catching Lucy coming in with the ta-da for you, she'll present the way she needs to present to you. And what's
different.
Lucy's reminder for everyone about happenings on Earth
To
right now?
believe in magic, because she just showed me and reminded me, she just showed me a fairy. And I saw a fairy when I was a little kid, like a real fairy. And that's what she just showed her twirling around.
And
So
I'll do a
believe in the
final photo
magic.
today of a fairy named Ginger. I've got Tinkerbell and like a photo of Tinkerbell, and I have her about three or four. I've probably heard about a dozen ways for her. Here's Ginger the fairy, silver flecks of light, like Tinkerbell's rainbow light. So I'm going to take Ginger's name out of the picture, but here's Ginger. If you can see her okay, you can at least see the light around her. Real photo. Here's something from Ginger. If you want to close your eyes, she's got about a dozen ways. So she'll fly by. You'll hear her singing, bells, touch your ear. If you're wearing earrings, she might come by and do the earring thing or kiss you on the nose or butterfly kiss. Who knows? It's whatever you allow for at home, folks. Like, forget the topics we've talked about today. What are you allowing for more daily? Is it laughter, smiling, breathing? Good luck with that if you have a job. There's stress, and then throw in the commute and throw in the bill paying and throw in all the world events. And then who has time for happiness? And I'll say one final thing before we go back to Nancy. You can be happy now in this very moment without a
Mhm.
single reason. Okay, Nancy, what did you just get from Ginger the Fairy?
True, absolutely. I do want to just say one more thing,
Oh, hey, that all
because
got
I'm
cut
getting,
out. That got cut out. Tell us again, what did you get from Ginger the Fairy? It all collapsed.
oh, it did. Oh no. Ginger, she did this. So she did this, and then she just flittled. That was all. That was what she gave me. She didn't give me any words, but she gave me this and then a flyby.
Well, Nancy, you've shared so much. We'll see if we can do this again sometime, but could you wrap it up for us on the big picture or the small picture or the moment to moment, how it really isn't about the externals. It's about being in the heart. What would you like to close us out with here?
Just find your heart, like truly find your heart. I know we all have a heart, but your heart center, like your heart. And when you do that and you breathe and you pause, everything that comes towards you or away from you is gonna be love. It's love. You light a candle and just send love to the world. It goes. They send your angels, Jesus, Mary, whoever you believe in, will send that love into the universe. That energy ripples, ripples, ripples. Let love ripple through. We will get through these times. Have no fear. Do not live in fear. I know some people don't know how to do that. Call me. I will help you. Call me. I will help you get through the fear, the anxiety. You don't you don't want that in your body. That's all negative. You want to get rid of the negative and keep the positive flowing. And there's so many beautiful ways to do that that are easy. They're simple.
Love
Just love.
is love is the fabric of the universe. Show love always. Regard others as yourself generously and without fixation. If you could leave us with a mantra, a quick little saying, maybe 10 words or less, 3 words or less, what is Jesus, something that you haven't said in at least a few years? I'll put up Gabriel because he's on the top of the real photograph, unofficial deck down there. What's Gabriel saying? And you don't need to have Gabriel give it to you, but you're on the spot. If you don't mind repeating it 3 times so people can pick up on your vibration and angels too. People can treat you like a fireplace, only love and above. Angels shepherding us here. They'll put their hands up, feel your vibe,
I
but they'll,
want to
yeah.
send it. I'm going to send it.
Yeah. And
So
what is it?
this
And can you,
mantra that
yeah.
I would say to use is I am love. I am light. I am divine. I am a divine being of love and light. And I send you all so much healing and love.
I love it. Nancy Shershen in the Carolinas, you're amazing. Thank you for being such a wonderful guest. And thank you for
Thank
sharing
you, Michael.
so much with such grace and joy and sparkle. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.